Hello everyone! Welcome po ulit sa ating Matisip YouTube channel where you can find free Tagalog mathematics tutorial. Our topic for today is all about linear inequalities in one variable and their graphs. But before we begin, let me just remind everyone, kung hindi pa po tayo nakakapag-subscribe, you can click the subscribe button and the notification bell para po lagi tayong updated sa mga susunod pang mga uploads. And to our fellow teachers who are watching, if you are interested with our PowerPoint presentations, you can just message us on our Facebook page to avail of our PowerPoint products. Okay? So without further ado, let's now begin with our lesson. Alright, our learning competency for this lesson is to solve linear inequalities in one variable and to graph on a number line the solution of linear inequalities in one variable. Okay, let's start with this review. Okay, let us recall ano po ba ang linear equation in the first place. We have to understand linear equation before we move on to linear inequalities. Okay, so in our last lessons, in our previous discussions, we learned that linear equation is a mathematical statement that shows that two expressions are equal. And this is an example. We have here 2x plus 3 equals 7. And here, we know that 2x plus 3 equals 7 means that we are looking for the value of x that makes both sides equal. Okay? Parehas po ang kanilang value sa right side and then sa left side. That is why we need to solve for the value of x here. Okay, now what if instead of being equal, one side is greater or less than the other? For example, this one will become like this. Okay, mas mabigat po yung isang side ng ating balance scale. Now, how do we express situations that involve more than, less than, and at most? Okay, let's have this situation para po maintindihan natin. Okay, let's have this real life situation. For example, a student should spend no more than 2 hours a day on social media. Let the variable t, okay, ito po yung variable natin, represent the time in hours spent online. Okay, so totoo po ito, ano? Dapat hindi po lalagpas sa 2 hours a day ang social media. Some parents even let their children spend only 1 hour or even 30 minutes kasi actually mahaba na rin po itong 2 hours. Okay? Kasi masama po sa ating health ang sobrang paggamit ng social media. Now, let's go back to our topic. How can we represent this as a mathematical sentence? Okay? So, we can represent this using this mathematical sentence. We can have t, of course, our variable. And then, we can now use this symbol. Okay, ito po, ang basa nito ay less than or equal. And then, we have 2. Okay, meaning 2 hours. So, this is read as t, or the time, is less than or equal to 2. Meaning, the student can spend up to 2 hours but not more. So, pwedeng equal si t sa 2, pero hindi pwedeng lalagpas na si t sa 2. Okay, it is equal or less than. Ang tawag na po natin dito ay linear inequality. Ito po ang magiging lesson natin for today. Okay, now to memorize or to be familiar with the inequality symbols, we have here 4 major symbols. So we have here, the first one is what we call the less than symbol. Okay, and examples are, we have here x is less than 4. Okay, ang basa niyan is x is less than 4. Okay, next one we have here the greater than. Alam naman natin ito, greater than. Example, we have here y is greater than 2. Okay, y is greater than 2. Next, we have here the less than or equal. Okay, less than or equal to. Like for example, we have here this is example as read as a is at most 10. Pwede rin basahin ito as a is less than or equal to 10. Okay, next one we have here the greater than or equal to symbol. So we have here the example, b is greater than or equal to negative 3. Pwede rin namang sabihin natin na b is at least negative 3. Okay, so these are the inequality symbols that we're going to use and the common way of reading it. Okay, for our topic, we will just focus on linear inequality in one variable muna. Okay, meaning we will only using one variable. Like for example, we have here ax plus b is less than c. Okay, asan po yung variable dito? it is x. Okay, now let us first define linear inequality. Linear inequality is a mathematical statement that relates a linear expression as either less than or greater than the other. It can be written in the form, we have here ax plus b is less than c. It can also be ax plus b is greater than c. Next, it can also be ax plus b is less than or equal to c. Pwede ring ax plus b is greater than or equal to c. Okay? Where a and b and c are real numbers. Okay? And a is not equal to 0. Okay? So I repeat, yung a, b, and c natin dito, these are all real numbers. Hindi pwedeng maging 0 yung ating numerical coefficient, our leading coefficient. Let's have some examples. We have here 2x plus 3 is less than 7, meaning yung a natin dito is 2, yung b natin is 3, and yan yung c natin is 7. Our variable is x. Okay? So here in our lesson, usually gumagamit tayo ng variable x, but you can also have different variables. Any letter po will do. Okay, next is we have 5x minus 2 is greater than 8. Okay, so a is equal to 5, b is equal to negative 2, and c is equal to 8. Okay, another example, we have here 3x is less than or equal to 9. Okay, so asan po yung a natin? It's 3. Asan po yung b? Wala po tayong b dito, so meaning it is 0. And then yung c natin is 9. Okay, another is we have here, as you can see, this is not yet simplified, but this is still considered a linear inequality. So we have here negative 2 times the quantity of 4x minus 5 is less than 9 minus 2 times the quantity of x minus 2. Okay? So, ang gagawin talaga natin dito is isi-simplify pa natin. Okay? In order for us to have this linear inequality forms. Okay? We can do the distributive property para po masimplify natin ang mga ito. And other properties like the addition property or subtraction property of equality. So, magagamit pa rin po natin yung mga properties of equalities. Okay, let's proceed to solving linear inequality in one variable. Okay, so remember, a solution to a linear inequality or equation is a number that makes the inequality a true statement when substituted for the variable. Linear inequalities can have infinitely many solutions or no solution at all. Okay, ito ang pinagkaiba niya sa linear equation. Why? Because linear equalities pwedeng magkaroon ng maraming sagot. Okay, many solutions. Or pwede rin naman pong wala. Okay? So, let's go to the steps of solving linear inequalities. Yung first step natin, remember, is to simplify both sides. And then, number 2, you will isolate the variable just like what we are doing in solving linear equations. Parehas lang din po. Ang pinagkaiba lang dito, you have to take note of this step. When you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you have to be careful with negative numbers. Pag nagdi-divide po tayo using the division property of equality or multiplication property of equality, mare-reverse po yung inequality sign or symbol natin. We can see this later on in our examples. And then number 4, we will write the solution set. And then number 5, we will graph the solution on a number line. Okay, now let's go to graphing linear inequality in one variable. Okay? Inequalities can be graphed on the number line as rays. If the inequality is strict or yung mga symbol natin less than or greater than, ang tawag po natin dyan ay strict inequalities. We use an open dot to indicate that the endpoint of the ray is no part or not part of the solution. Okay, makikita po natin yan later on sa example. For the other types of inequalities, like for example, less than or greater than, sometimes they call this slack inequalities. We use closed dot. Okay, again, makikita po natin sa examples later on. Okay, ito po yung unang example natin. Let's have x is greater than 3. Paano po natin yan i-graph? Using the number line. Okay, first gagawa tayo ng number line. As long as yung number line natin ay papakita natin yung ating number, pwedeng mas mahaba or pwedeng mas maiksi. Okay, we can have the dot here. Take note, open po yung dot natin. Okay? Kasi nga po, we are now having a strict inequality. And then, since x is greater than 3, saan po tayo maglalagay ng ray? We can put the ray on the right side of the dot. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung values ng x, nandito po siya sa right side ni 3. Kasama po ba si 3 doon? Hindi po. Kasi nga po, greater than lang po yung ating symbol. X can be 4, X can be 5, X can be 6, and so on. Hindi po kasama si X. Hence, we are now going to use the open dot. Okay? Now, let's compare it with X is less than or equal to 3. Okay, using our number line again, we can now plot 3, okay, using a solid dot. Okay, ito po ang gagamitin natin, a closed dot. Okay, and for our array, saan po natin siya ilalagay? Take note, x is less than, ibig sabihin mas mababa or equal to 3. So our values is on the left side of the number line. So we have here, pwedeng 2, pwedeng 1, pwedeng 0. Pwede ba ang negative numbers? Yes, because this is an arrow, meaning it extends to the left side infinitely. Okay? Now, take note of our dot. It's a closed dot. Kasama po ba si 3 doon? Yes, because our symbol is less than or equal. Pwede siyang mas mababa kay 3 or equal siya kay 3. So, again, you can have 3, 2, 1, 0, and negative numbers. Okay, now this time, let's have examples on solving and graphing linear inequalities in one variable. Okay? So, aside from graphing, isosolve muna natin yung ating inequalities. Okay? So, let's have this first example. Solve negative 2x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 21. Okay? So, first step, we are going to use the properties of equalities na ginagamit natin sa equation dito sa inequality natin para ma-isolate po natin yung variable x. Okay? Anong gagawin natin kay 1 para matanggal siya dito sa left side? Okay? We will use the subtraction property of equality. We will subtract negative 1. We will subtract positive 1 in both sides. Okay? Or minus 1 lang po. Pwede rin po ang addition property of equality by adding, okay, the additive inverse, which is plus negative 1. Parehas lang po yun. So, 1 minus 1 dito para matanggal itong 1 natin. And then, sa kabilang side, kung anong ginawa natin sa left side, ganun din po ang gagawin sa right side. So, our answer will be negative 2x is greater than or equal to 20 because 21 minus 1 is 20. Okay, next. Anong gagawin natin para matanggal si negative 2? Okay? Para ang maiwan lang is si x. What property are we going to use? Okay, correct. We will be using the division property of equality. Pwede rin po yung multiplication property of equality. So, aside from dividing negative 2, we can multiply this by negative 1/2. Okay? So, negative 2 divided by itself will be 1. Okay? Sa kabila naman po, since nag-divide tayo ng negative 2, magdi-divide din tayong ng negative 2. So, 20 divided by negative 2, our answer will be negative 10. Okay? So, meron po ba kayong napapansin sa mga symbols natin? Meron bang naiba? Yes, meron pong nag-change. Meron po tayong changes dito sa ating inequality. Why? Because when you divide both sides of an equality by a negative number, the direction of the inequality sign is reversed. Okay? So, instead of greater than or equal, naging less than or equal na po siya. Okay? Take note of that. Okay, now let's go to the graphing part. Okay? Paano natin i-graph itong ating value ng ating inequality? Okay? So, first, let's draw the number line. Okay? So, we have here this number line. Okay, question, kailangan bang ganito kahaba ang ating number line? It depends po. Hindi po necessarily na ganito kahaba or hindi necessarily na mag-start tayo sa -15, mag-end tayo sa 6. Okay, hindi po. As long as yung number line natin ay ipapakita natin si -10. Okay? Pwede po yun. Kahit mas mahaba or mas maiksi po dito, okay lang. Ang importante po is mai-plot natin ng maayos yung ating values. So how do we plot? First, let's make use of the dot. Okay? Anong klaseng dot po ang ginamit natin? Nilocate lang po natin si -10 dito sa number line. We use the closed dot or yung solid dot. Next, we are going to draw a ray. Okay? In other books, they call this shading. Sinishade nila yung kanilang number line. But here, we make use of a ray. So, dito, ang ray natin is going to the left side. Why? Because x is less than or equal. Ibig sabihin, mas mababa siya kay -10. The values are less than or equal. Kasama din yung -10 doon. Kaya po siya close or kaya po solid yung ating dot kasi included po si -10. Alright, so the values can be -10. Ano pa ba yung mas mababang values kay -10? -11, -12, -13, -14, -15, and so on and so forth. Those are all the values of our inequality. Okay, next one we have here, 2x minus 8 is less than 14. Okay, so first, let us solve for the value of our x. Okay, so we have here 2x minus 8. Anong gagawin natin kay -8 para matanggal siya dito sa left side ng ating inequality? We can use the addition property of equality by adding 8, okay, itself, no? Then we can now have 14 plus 8 din dito sa kabila. Alright, so we have here 0, 8, -8 plus 8 is 0, and then 14 plus 8 is 22. So ang naiwan dito ay si 2x. We can just divide this using the division property of equality. So divide it by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 22 divided by 2 is 11. So our value, the value of x here is 11. Okay, less than 11. So take note, yung ating symbol, hindi na po siya nag-change. Bakit? Although nag-divide tayo, hindi naman po siya negative. Positive naman po yung dinivide natin. So, it's just the same. Wala pong changes. X is less than 11. Now, let's go to graphing. How are we going to graph this? Okay, so let's have first our number line. So again, iba po ulit yung orientation ng number line natin. Nagsimula siya sa -6, nag-end sa 15. Pero hindi po laging ganito, hindi po kailangan ganito rin yung graph ninyo. Pwedeng mas mababa or pwedeng mas maiksi yung inyo pong number line. As long as you plot 11. Okay, plinat po na po natin si 11. Take note, anong klaseng dot po ang ginamit natin dito? It's an open dot. Okay, bakit po? Kasi nga yung symbol natin is just less than. Kasama ba si 11? Hindi po. Wala pong equal sign dyan. So, 11 is not included. And x here is less than 11, meaning the value of x is on the left side of the equation. Saan po yung ating ray? Dito po sa left side. Papunta sa negative infinity. Alright? So, the value of x can be 10, 9, 8, 7, and so on and so forth, including the negative numbers. Alright? Kasama ba ang 11? Again, hindi po kasama. Okay, example number 3, we have here 4x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 12. So this time, meron na po tayong greater than or equal sign. Okay? So let's first solve for the value of our x. Okay? So we have here 4x minus 4. Ang gagawin natin para matanggal si -4, we will add 4. Okay? The additive inverse. Now, -4 plus 4 is 0. On the other side, 12 plus 4 will be 16. Alright? Now, we will divide 4x by, yes, positive 4. Okay? So, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 on the other hand is divided by 4, magiging 4 din po siya. Okay, nag-iba po ba ang ating symbol? Nag-change po ba siya? Hindi po, since we just divided it by a positive number. Okay, so the values, hindi lang po isa ha, the values of x is greater than or equal to 4. Now, let's go to graphing. So first, let's have the number line. Now, let us plot 4 in our number line. Positive 4 po siya. So we have here. Ang dot po natin is a solid dot or a closed dot, meaning included po yung 4. Since our symbol is greater than or equal, kasama po yung 4 doon. So the values of x here are greater or equal to 4. So 4, pwedeng 5, pwedeng 6, and so on and so forth. So ang ray natin nandito po sa right side. Okay, going to positive infinity na po siya. Okay, now let's have example number 4. We have here negative 5x plus 3 is less than 28. Okay, so let us solve for the values of x. Okay, by using the addition property of equality or the subtraction property of equality. So let us subtract 3 in both sides para matanggal po yung 3 dito. So we have here 5 or negative 5x ang naiwan. Sa kabila naman po, we have here 25. Now, since we have a negative coefficient here, ano pong gagawin natin? We will divide it also by a negative number, which is negative 5. So, negative 5 divided by negative 5 will become 1. On the other hand, we have here 25 divided by negative 5. It will be negative 5. Okay, so x is greater than negative 5. Okay, take note, nag-iba po yung ating inequality symbol. Why? Because we divide it by a negative number. Alright, so let us graph now our inequality. So using this number line, let's plot negative 5. So dito po siya sa left side. Take note, ano po yung kanyang dot? Ano po yung ating dot dito? It's a open dot, meaning hindi po kasama si negative 5. So x, the values of x are greater than negative 5. So mas mataas po kay negative 5. So nandito po ba siya sa left or sa right side? Correct, nandito po sa right side. So we have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, pwedeng 0, pwedeng positive numbers up to positive infinity. Okay, hindi po kasama si negative 5 and the other negative numbers on the left side. Okay, that's how we graph it. Okay, for our last example, we have here number 5. 1/2 x minus 7 is less than 13. So if you notice, meron po tayong fraction dito sa ating numerical coefficient. So how are we going to do it? First, let us remove negative 7 using our addition property of equality. Let's add 7 in both sides. We have here negative 7 plus 7 will be 0. 13 plus 7 will be 20. Okay? Now, anong gagawin natin para matanggal si 1/2 at ang maiwan lang is si x? Okay, can we do the division property? We can actually use the multiplication property of equality. Mas madali pong gamitin yon. So, we will multiply the reciprocal of 1/2. Okay, which is 2. Okay, we will multiply 2. Hindi lang sa left side, pati rin po sa right side. Okay, so if we multiply 2 by 1/2, magiging 1 na po siya. At si 20, magiging 40 na po siya. Alright? So that's how you remove 1/2. Now we have here x is less than 40. Take note, hindi pa rin po nag-iba yung ating inequality because we just multiply it by a positive number. Pag minultiply na po natin ng negative, that's the time na mag-change po ulit yung ating inequality symbol. So the values of x are less than 40. So in graphing, we just need to identify 40. Okay, pero dito sa ating number line, if you notice, medyo iba po ang aking number line. Kasi nga po, pwede nating gamitin itong number line na ito para po hindi natin kailangang isulat yung napakahabang number line. As you can see, ang atin pong interval dito ay by 10. So we have here 0, tapos 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The other side also is negative 10, negative 20, negative 30, negative 40, negative 50. As long as yung number line po natin pare-parehas po yung kanilang interval, it is still correct. Alright, so let us graph 40. We have here 40. Anong ginamit kong dot? We use the open dot. Okay, meaning hindi po kasama yung 40. Okay, so since x is less than or mas mababa sa 40, yung ating ray ay anong side po siya? Dito po ba siya sa right side or sa left side ni 40? So it is in the left side of 40. Okay, going to the left. So therefore, this is the graph of our inequality 1/2 x minus 7 is less than 13. Okay, just to sum up our graphing rules, ito po yung outline natin. For symbol like this, less than, ang type ng ating circle or yung dot na gagamitin natin to plot the points is yung open. Okay? At ang direction ng ating ray or yung shading natin is going to the left. Alright? Now, for the symbol greater than, ang circle type pa din ay open. At ang direction naman niya ay going to the right. Okay? Next, if it is less than or equal, ang circle type na natin is closed or solid. And then, ang direction pa rin niya is going to the left. Okay? Pag greater than or equal naman, circle type is closed pa rin or dot. And then, direction naman niya is going to the right side. Okay? So, yun po yung summary ng ating graphing of inequalities. Okay, now for your activity, if you want to master our lesson, you can do this activity for you to practice. You can solve the following inequalities and graph their solutions on a number line. Okay, so you can just check this with your teacher, especially if your teachers are using our PowerPoint presentations. Alright, but for now, thank you for listening. I hope meron po ulit kayong natutunan sa ating lesson. And I hope to see you again on our next video. Bye-bye po muna and God bless po sa ating lahat. Kung meron kang natutunan sa video na ito, please click the subscribe button to support this channel para mas matulungan ulit kita sa mga susunod mo pang math lessons. Lagi mong tatandaan, ang math ay para sa lahat. At ako si Teacher Van, nagsasabing dito sa Math Isip, lamang ang nag-iisip. God bless and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.